y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Got a story that I want to talk to you about, but before I go into the story, I want to talk about higher education. And I've talked about it a little bit, and it's a touchy subject to try to advise people who are unaware of what's coming down the pipe in the future about what their children should be going into. Now, those of us who are older, 50 at the tail end of life, or let's say mid phase. Um, just speaking from personal experience, I've worked in manufacturing. Those jobs left went overseas after NAFTA and TAFTA were signed, and then I had to get retrained. And so I got a bachelor's degree, worked in those sectors for say 10 years or so, and then you just start to see where the money shifted because we had the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. So a lot of the national resources that were used for the sectors that I worked in as a white collar worker were redirected overseas to the wars. And so if you weren't working in a field like in law enforcement or something like that, where they were redirecting resources to, you kind of watched your career field trim down significantly. And so now we're at another phase, and like this is the third time that I've seen, a call for a retraining in jobs or careers because the economy is about to shift because of something significant. And so what happens is a lot of people don't pick up on these different trends, especially those people who have young children or children about to transition from high school to college, and they are still living this in this fantasy world that I can do whatever I want to do, I can take whatever I want, what I want, and there will be a career for me. And what happens is there's not going to be a career for your child. And so what a lot of people are going to find out is they're going to be taking care of their college and career aged kids a lot longer, if not forever, because they did not position themselves well. They didn't pay attention to the state, local, national, and global employment trends. And they did not, decide whether, our child is going to be an entrepreneur or if our child is going to join the workforce. And if we want them to be a worker, what is going to be in demand? And so I'm not saying that everything is going to disappear, but the time is coming where just going to college and taking whatever you want to take is coming to an end. Because there's not going to be a demand for those types of opportunities. So let's get into this article. And then, I want to recommend some things for parents who are considering sending their children to colleges, especially a four-year institution. I strongly disagree with sending kids to get four-year educations now, because most of those jobs that kids are going to school for, unless they're going into these specific fields noted in this article, those jobs are going to be obsolete within the next 5 to 10 years. And so if they go into debt for those degrees, they will never earn the money to pay them off. And then you just end up in this vicious cycle of not being able to live because everything you earn will be going back to pay debt for uh, loans that went towards degree fields that you're never going to be able to work in, and you're never going to be able to pay them off. So my suggestion would be for people to go to community colleges. One, because a lot of community colleges are free now. Where I live, you can go to community colleges, and everybody can go to community college in the summer for free. So if you can take a skill or a trade or get a vocation in 2 years or less and get a job making, more than minimum wage, 60, 70, $80,000 a year, and have no debt, Why not do that instead of going to a college because somebody got a good football team or a good basketball team, or your family are legacy attendees, and so you just want to do the same thing. But when you get out, you're not gonna be able to get a job, because once this economy collapses and this nation goes to a digital society, what are you gonna do with, your degree in political science? What are you gonna do with your degree in the arts? What are you gonna do with your degree in, pick a field? I don't know, but there are just a lot of things that people are not considering, and I want to talk about this article so that you can kind of get an idea of what you need to be looking forward to. Okay, so this article comes from India Today. It says 10 job roles likely to decline in the next 5 years due to AI and other technologies. It's on Microsoft Start, and I will include it in the description. So it says, while artificial intelligence, AI, and other technologies are helping many people in a great way, it is slowly taking away the jobs of users. A report released by the W and the E and the F, them aliens, claims that AI and smart technologies will put roles such as bank teller, cashier, and data entry clerk at risk. These roles could become obsolete in the next 5 years. The data is based on the survey of 803 companies that plan to adopt big data, cloud computing, and AI technologies in the coming years. For people around the world, the past 3 years have been filled with upheaval and uncertainty for their lives and livelihoods. With geopolitical and economic shifts, the rapid advancement of AI and other technologies now risk adding more uncertainty. Sadia Zahidi, managing director for the W and the E and the F, said. Got to talk in code because y'all know how they do my stuff. List of jobs that are at risk and could be declined. Ever since online banking became popular in the world, it has created a bad impact on many physical bank branches, as they are now of no use. They would be of use because we like going to the bank and getting money in our hand, but they want to tell you this because they want everything to be digitalized and you to be comfortable with these things happening. But anywho, this has led to the closure of banks, leaving bank teller and related clerk jobs at risk. And so the report says around 40% decline in such roles could be seen before the end of this decade. I'm saying probably within the next 3 years. Similarly, as automation, sensor technologies, and online services are witnessing high interest and growth, there are also diminishing these are also diminishing the need for postal service clerks, cashier, and ticket office clerks, and data entry staff, as per the report. The cited source says that such roles could see a decline by more than a third in the next 5 years. In terms of highest absolute job losses, data clerks fare the worst, with an expected 8 million job losses within 5 years, followed by administrative and executive secretaries and accounting, bookkeeping, and patrol clerks. I have no idea what a patrol clerk is. These three occupations combined account for more than half of total expected job destruction. The Future of Jobs 2023 report notes. The report stated 10 job roles said to grow in the coming years. The report also revealed 10 top jobs that will see growth in the next 10 years. In the next 5 years. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with me today, but I'm reading like I'm illiterate, so forgive me. Autonomous and electric vehicle specialists are in high demand, topping the list of most in-demand jobs for 2023. So that means auto mechanics, automotive technology is going to be a big thing, because A lot of the automotive makers help fund community colleges. They fund these departments, and so that they will train students to do things that they need them to do in the workforce. Even though, the state may be paying for it, or maybe you pay for it a little bit, but it's a 2-year degree or less than a 2-year degree that you can get, and you can have a job building these new autonomous cars, and these cars with all these new bells and whistles that are going to shut off and drive themselves back to the dealership when you don't pay the bill. Close behind, AI and machine learning specialists could see only slight less job growth, followed by environmental protection professionals with an expected 35% increase over the same period, the report said. So if you're going into environmental sciences, that is a good career field. Um, Anything in biology, because everything is going to be focused on the climate. So they're going to be out here making folks look for stuff or find stuff that don't exist. But anywho, environmental sciences, environmental protection professionals, EPA people are going to be in big demand at the state and national levels. And this is all across the globe. We might get to see more than 30% growth growth rate in roles such as specialists, fintech engineers, and several analyst roles, including business information and data, together with data scientists. So notice there's a big trend to move towards collecting more data, and that's because everything is going to be digitalized. So they're going to need people to look at this stuff and analyze it and watch people and watch for trends so that they can inform employers and corporations so that they can figure out how to always keep us poor and without money. In addition to this, around 2 million new jobs in areas like heavy truck and bus drivers. So you see that trucking is going to be a big industry, probably because people are not going to be working. They're going to be needing to transport more stuff. So you're going to be stuck in your little 15-minute city. So you're going to need somebody to get you some stuff. Bus drivers, because people are not going to have cars. Cars are going to be not necessarily obsolete, but for the wealthy or people who can afford them. And you're not going to be able to afford your fossil fuel vehicle because it's going to be taxed so heavily. You're going to rely on public transportation. So they're going to need more bus drivers to haul more people. Vocational education teachers, notice this. This is huge. Go to school, get your 2-year degree, then you can teach people how to do the thing that you got your 2-year degree in, because 4-year degrees are no longer going to be a necessity. You don't need a 4-year degree to collect data. Somebody with a high school diploma can be a data scientist or data analyst or data collector, really. Bus driver. You don't need a degree to be a bus driver. You don't need a degree per se to drive heavy trucks. Mechanics. You should have a degree to be a mechanic, but you don't necessarily have to have a degree. You could just have a certification. Uh, I think, in a lot of places, they do require you to have a degree and some certifications in order to be employed. But again, you don't have to have a 4-year degree. And machinery repairers, because they're going to need somebody to fix those self-checkouts at Walmart and Lowe's and Home Depot. They're going to need somebody to fix all the things that have become automated. So machinery repairers will be in, great demand from 2023 to 2027. So again, if you have children, whether it's male or female, you planning on sending them out into the workforce and you don't want to take care of them, these are some career fields that they can go to school for, and you can get a 2-year degree, or you don't need a degree at all. You just need some certifications. And so that should be some things that you should be thinking about. Then you should look in your state for the employment trends and the wage trends to see how much it will cost to live in your state and what is the type of income that needs to be earned, or wage that needs to be earned in order to sustain yourself in this new economic environment. So that was the end of this article. I just wanted to share this with you. And, plant a seed in the minds of some parents. You're going to have to shift your mind away from going to the big 4-year school, going to the 4-year HBCU, going to the state institution because you like the football team, because you like the basketball team, because you have some fond memories, something you saw on TV, you like the colors, whatever it is. Like, we are really going to have to get away from this stupidity, because what is coming is you're going to have a bunch of people who go to these schools and they're not going to be able to get a job because the workforce is not going to want to pay someone with a 4-year degree. They're only going to want to pay people with 2-year degrees. So just make sure that you are staying on top of the trends for jobs in the coming months and years. And please don't be afraid to have these conversations with your, young family members, your children, other relatives in your family, their friends, because a lot of times people don't understand this is how your states determine, its workforce. This is how this information is used to develop programs at your local schools and your regional workforce development programs. And so, I've worked with workforce development. I've worked in a community college. I like the community college setting, actually. But a lot of people don't like it because they feel like it's inferior. But as you can see, the trends are moving towards vocational and 2-year degree, or something in between, 12 to 16 months of education, and you get a certification or a 2-year degree, and you can make as much money as someone who has a 4-year degree and sometimes not even that, getting an entry level job. So pay attention to the job trends, even though these are these crazy people. But as you see their plans coming to fruition, and you see a lot of the things that they talk about actually happening, this is one of the things that you also need to pay attention to, because a lot of people are going to be unemployed and unemployable because states are not going to be able to afford workforce development. And when they can't afford workforce development, that means you're going to be relying upon food stamps and universal basic income and public housing. And you know how you're going to have to sell your soul to get those things? You don't want to do that. All right, y'all. This is Marley K. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to my Rumble and Odysee channels in the event this channel is taken down because they don't like my content. Knowledge is power. Make sure you stay on top of these trends because things are changing quickly. I'm out.